In today's video, we will discuss Immaculate, a religious horror movie that has become this year's sensation. If you want to know more about this movie, stay tuned and watch our full recap. Please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and thank you for watching. In the first scene, we see a portrait of Mother Mary in the room of Sister Mary, who is planning to flee from the convent. Before leaving, she writes something on the wall and then covers it with the portrait of Mother Mary. Then she took the keys from Mother Superior's room and tried to open the main gate, but 4 nuns with crimson masks show up there to stop her. She even almost went through the gap in the gate, but one of her ankles was grabbed by a nun. She broke the ankle of Sister Mary and brought her back to the convent. As per the rule, no one leaves here. They buried her alive on the convent ground. From here, we jump to the day when Sister Cecilia comes to Italy from the USA to join a traditional convent to show her gratitude towards God. The head nun welcomes her and tells Sister Isabel, who seems to have hate at first sight for Sister Cecilia, to give her a tour of this place and informs her about her works. The exact words from Sister Isabel for this place are, "Our Lady of Sorrow was found in 1632 as a refuge for elder sisters before their transition to heaven. It seems Cecilia has to take care of the older sick sisters, clean the laundries, work as a full-time nun, and butcher hens for communal meals." Even though Sister Isabel appears cold-hearted, still leaving Cecilia's room, she warns her that she could leave the convent right now and that God will still forgive her. Cecilia finds these words weird, but Isabel tries to help her leave this baffling place. In the bathroom, she meets Sister Gwen, who is smoking and isn't serious about being a nun. Cecilia comes to the chapel to take her vow to work as a full-time nun who believes only in God and refrains from having any human relationship or greed for worldly things. She will take the vow of poverty, chastity, and obedience. Father Sal Tedeschi helps her take the vow, as she's still struggling to understand Italian. Here, Father Sal is the one who sends her the invitation to join the convent. After the ceremony, they both enjoyed a glass of wine, and Father Sal talked about being a scientist at the first job of his life. He worked as a biologist. However, as a true believer in God, he became a priest who worked only for Jesus, which is actually not true. We'll get to know the mysterious behavior of Father Sal, who is the sole problem in Immaculate. On the other hand, Cecilia talks about her traumatic childhood. When she was 12 years old, she almost drowned in the icy lake, where her heart stopped for a while, but God somehow saved her and gave her a new life. She planned to become a nun to show gratitude towards Jesus Christ. Sister Cecilia went to the bathroom, where she hears the sound of crying inside the chapel. To check what's going on, she enters the chapel and sees a sister lying before the altar, like a cross, is wearing a blood-colored mask. At first glance, it seems the horrifying things have started, which can only be acknowledged by Sister Cecilia, but the Mother Superior comes and explains to her about the super mysterious situation. This secret chamber is very special and sacred to them, as they're keeping a relic here. This relic is one of the nails that was used to crucify Jesus Christ. Being drunk and stunned by the whole situation, she becomes speechless. She comes to confess whatever is going through her heart, but the priest stays somewhat silent while looking into her and gradually gets lost in the darkness. At that time, from behind, some hands grab her face and body, and a group of nuns wearing crimson masks appears before her. One of them tries to stab her, which makes Cecilia awake from her awful nightmare. She sees someone standing before her, but when she turns on the light, there is no one. All that happened last night became a bad dream for her, as she had too much wine. But isn't it the start of her dumb luck that Sister Isabel was talking about? The following day, forgetting all that, Sister Cecilia starts doing everything she's supposed to, and even makes a friend who is a bit rebellious, Sister Gwen. At night, when Cecilia went to bed, a mentally disabled patient, Sister Francesca, sneaked through her room from the patient's ward, where she cut a bit of Cecilia's hair with a pair of scissors. She's the one who came to Sister Cecilia's room the other night. Cecilia took her to the ward and noticed that there was a cross-like mark sealed on the palm of her feet, which was quite skeptical and a disturbing sight to see. In the morning, while taking a bath, Cecilia starts vomiting suddenly. She becomes sick and goes for a checkup. After a while, she's called for a severe inspection in front of the Mother Superior, Father Sal, the deacon, and Dr. Gatto. She is constantly questioned by all of them as if she's being unfaithful to her God. Did she do something unconventional before joining the convent? Is she not a virgin? Did she get close with any guys? Did she have any sexual relationships with other guys? Being perplexed, Cecilia couldn't express her reaction and denied everything, as she was pure in her heart and body. But suddenly, their moods change, and they celebrate the situation and congratulate Cecilia. Because of being a pure virgin, Cecilia is with the child, which is a miraculous incident as Virgin Mother Mary also got pregnant with Jesus Christ. For them, it is the second coming of Jesus. But hearing this, Sister Cecilia isn't happy. She somewhat becomes sad and confused and doesn't understand the inexplicable situation. She wanted to lead an everyday life as a nun and help needy people, but this excessive attention gave her some unnatural fright. The situation gets weirder and weirder from now on. The convent people dressed Cecilia up as the Virgin Mary. She stands at the altar like a statue, and everyone starts praying to her. Everything seems weirdly complicated, and Cecilia has refrained from physical work as her only job is baby. Cecilia has too many questions, but no one can answer them. Besides, somehow her health is also ruined. One of her teeth comes out while she is puking. But the most peculiar thing happened when she went to take a bath, and Sister Isabel tried to drown her by shouting, "It was supposed to be me." What does it even mean? Were they expecting something like this to happen? Then how did they even know this kind of miracle would happen? Other nuns come and try to quiet her, but they forcefully took Isabel from there when nothing could stop her blabbering. Then they do a checkup on Cecilia and tell her that she is okay. But Cecilia speaks about his ruined health, and one of her teeth came. She wants to go to a good hospital. But Father Sal doesn't approve of it as no one will understand her situation of being miraculously pregnant. But the most horrendous thing happens the following day when Sister Isabel jumps off the roof of the convent and her face is disgustingly ruined. The crimson masked sister who was there before they actually threw her from the window after torturing her very severely. At the funeral of Sister Isabel, Sister Gwen shouts in front of everyone, demanding to know what is happening around them. Why is no one paying enough attention to the reason why Sister Isabel killed herself out of nowhere? Even she gets suspicious about why they're not taking Cecilia to a proper hospital for a checkup. But without answering any of her questions, Father Sal takes her out of there. Later at night, Cecilia sees the writing behind the portrait of Mother Mary. After knowing the meaning of the verses, she learns that the miraculous child could also be a curse. Then Cecilia goes to the room where the files of the nuns are kept. She finds that everything about her life is in the file. Then she hears a screaming voice. She follows through the sound and sees from a hole in the door that nuns who are wearing those bloody masks are cutting Gwen's tongue off so that she cannot talk anymore. It is their way of shushing her. Seeing this gross incident, tears are coming out of Cecilia's eyes. Suddenly, someone grabbed her mouth from behind, and it was Sister Francesca from the other night. Cecilia asks for her help to escape from here, but she tells her instead, "No one ever leaves here." The following day, everyone in the convent hears some screaming from Cecilia's room. Cecilia is crying in pain, and her bed is soaked in blood horribly. As everyone thought, she's going to lose her baby if the situation goes on like this. That's why they planned to take her to the hospital. But little did they all know that Cecilia planned to escape this dreadful place. She butchered a chicken and used its blood to scare everyone. But her plan goes in vain when the head nun finds the dead chicken under her bed and calls Father Sal immediately. When Cecilia realizes she got caught, she runs as fast as possible while wearing the bloody gown. Sydney Sweeney shows her mind-blowing performance here. She wanted to save herself from this wild situation even more than her unborn child. Unfortunately, Father Sal catches her and brings her back to the convent. But the excellent treatment is long gone now. They tied her hands and legs down with a wheelchair. Father Sal brings her to the chamber where the relic is being kept. As he is the true mastermind of whatever horrid things happen, he unveils the actual truth to Cecilia. One of the original nails used to crucify Jesus Christ wasn't just an ordinary pin. They found blood tissues on that nail. So, the nail possesses Jesus' DNA. Remember that Father Sal was a former biologist. He was trying to do his best to make a fetus out of it for almost 20 years by impregnating the nuns of this convent, but he failed every time. Father Saul wanted to reincarnate Jesus, but he didn't clarify why he wanted to do that. If he's a true devotee of God, shouldn't he keep faith in his religion rather than bring up this kind of science stuff? Religion works on faith, not logic. So why does his evil mind act like this, making those innocent nuns suffer? Finally, he sees success through Cecilia's pregnancy, so no matter what happens, he's determined to bring the baby into this world. The baby isn't pure here either. Even though Immaculate means something original or authentic, the baby didn't conceive naturally, and the reasons behind its birth are pretty complicated. Besides, it is being artificially created with DNA. And Cecilia never wanted this baby. She wasn't happy with any of the excellent treatment she received from the convent for being pregnant. Father Sal even takes her to the laboratory where he experiments with this stuff. There, he burns the palm of her feet with a cross, just like Sister Francesca's marks on the feet. Cecilia is ready to pop anytime soon. Father Sal observes the baby's condition through an ultrasound machine. He leaves her with the head nun in charge, but after observing the situation for a moment, Cecilia kills her while hitting her several times on the head with a metal cross. She leaves the room immediately to run after the deacon, but on the way, her water breaks. Still pregnant, Cecilia is ready to fight for her precious life. She still goes to the hall, strangulates the deacon with her rosary, and kills him as well. Dr. Gatto sees her murdering the deacon, so he flees immediately. Cecilia then sets foot in the laboratory, planning to burn it to ashes. But Father Saul tries to stop her, but she lights the lab along with Father Saul. But Father Sal escapes from the fire. Seeing that, Cecilia runs for life through the dark tunnels of the convent, trying to find a way out. But Father Sal follows her very quickly. She even turned off the light of her torch so that he couldn't find her. But in this tunnel, she sees the corpse of tongueless Gwen. This is what those horrible people do when someone tries to speak about all those wrongdoings. Besides, this awful sight shows how cruel Father Sal is and how nasty his mind games are. But somehow desperate, Cecilia finds a way that leads outside of the convent. While going towards that path, Father Sal grabs her, brings a scalpel from his court, and starts to cut her belly. He needs to have the baby, no matter what. Cecilia screams at the top of her voice out of pain. With this immense pain, she pulls out that relic and stabs his throat with it. This kills him for good. This birth scene has too many theories. As the filmmaker didn't give any particular direction about this crucial moment, people make theories depending on their thoughts. In this final scene of this extraordinary film, Cecilia screams with pain and sorrow as she is trying to give birth, and is not happy about this whole ghastly situation. With her sky-trembling scream, we could see the pain and resentment in her facial expressions. She screams and pushes with all her might, and after all, she gives birth. But the camera focus stays on Cecilia. They never show the baby or reveal its gender. After giving birth, Cecilia cuts the umbilical cord with her teeth, as she doesn't want to have any more connection with this inhuman baby. She brings a big rock and crushes it. This final scene has so many explanations. When a normal baby is born, it cries its heart out. This monster baby didn't make any sound but made some growling noise, showing that it was not a normal human baby. Besides, Cecilia killed everyone who was associated with this horrible crime, along with the baby. So many questions pop into the audience's mind while watching this movie. The filmmaker made something incredible. There's no doubt about that, but he didn't show so many vital things the public needs to know to understand the whole concept. What is the purpose of this baby? Why was Father Sal so desperate to bring the baby into this world? Besides, they never showed how they made Cecilia get pregnant. How did they use the DNA to reincarnate Jesus? We will never know.